For 2,000 years, he has been known as the ultimate villain. The name Judas Iscariot is synonymous with betrayal, greed, and treachery. We've been told the story countless times. A disciple of Jesus, blinded by the love of money, sold his master for 30 pieces of silver, forever cementing his place as history's most infamous traitor. But what if I told you that the story you know is a lie? What if his actions, far from being a simple act of greed, were part of a hidden, profound plan that he and Jesus understood from the very beginning? What if the betrayal of Jesus wasn't an act of a villain, but a divine mission? This is the forbidden truth the church has kept hidden from you. Today, we are going to explore the darkest chapter of the New Testament and ask the question that few dare to utter: what if Judas was the most faithful of all the disciples? If you're ready to uncover the shocking truth behind Judas Iscariot's betrayal, then make sure you are subscribed to our channel now. This isn't just about history, it's about a revelation that will challenge everything you've ever believed about faith, betrayal, and redemption. Comment 777 below if you believe the truth, no matter how unsettling, must always come to light. Now, let's begin our journey into the shadows of Scripture. Let's start with the story we all know. The canonical Gospels paint a clear picture of Judas Iscariot. He was one of the 12 chosen disciples, the trusted member of Jesus' inner circle. He was even given the responsibility of the group's money bag, sign of the trust Jesus placed in him. But the Gospels also hint at the dark flaw in his character. John 12:6 says, "He did not say this after because he cared about the poor, but a concave he was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what put into it." This verse introduces the motive that has defined Judas for centuries: greed. The story climaxes during the Last Supper. Matthew 26:14-16 tells us, "Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over. The betrayal is sealed with a kiss, the seemingly tender gesture used as a signal to the chief priest's guards. The rest, as he say, is history. Judas, filled with remorse and shame, throws the money back at the priests and hangs himself. The 30 pieces of silver, now consecrated blood money, are used to buy a potter's field as burial place for foreigners. This narrative, thought simple and clear, leaves many unanswered questions. Why runs a man who has witnessed Jesus' miracles, the healing of the sick, the raising of the dead, and the feeding of thousands, betray him for such a small sum? Was his greed so immense that it outweighed the power of God? The story feels incomplete. It leaves us with a shallow, almost two-dimensional villain. But what if the man we know, the Judas, was far more complex? Does the conventional story of Judas as a simple, greedy villain truly make sense when you consider the divine power he witnessed firsthand? What is missing from this narrative that could explain such a profound act? For centuries, the narrative of Judas Iscariot as the ultimate trait has been ingrained in our minds. However, in 1978, the groundbreaking discovery in the Egyptian desert shed new light on this dark chapter of history. Among ancient texts known as Gnostic Gospels, the document emerged that had been lost for over 1,600 years, the Gospel of Judas. This forbidden revelation challenges everything we thought we knew about Judas. In this gospel, Judas is not portrayed as a villain driven by greed, but Jesus' most trusted disciple, privy to profound secrets of the universe. Jesus entrusts him with knowledge beyond comprehension and tells him, "You will exceed all of them, for you will sacrifice the man who clothes me." These words, "sacrifice the man who clothes me," introduce paradigm shift in the betrayal story. It suggests that Judas' acts were not born out of trickery, but out of a divine mission to liberate Jesus' spiritual essence from earthly form. In this alternate account, Judas emerges a tragic hero, willingly shouldering to burden that one else could bear. But how will Jesus require such sacrifice? The Gospel of Judas implies that Jesus sought to transcend the limitations of the physical world and needed Judas to facilitate his spiritual ascension. Thus, Judas' act of betrayal becomes an act of profound loyalty and obedience to a cosmic plan far beyond human comprehension. If Judas' betrayal was an act of obedience to a secret mission from Jesus, how does this challenge conventional notions of good and evil? Can an action deemed evil by society serve higher divine purpose that transcends human understanding? As we delve deeper into the enigmatic figure of Judas Iscariot, another layer of complexity emerges. While traditional narratives paint Judas as greedy trait or faithful disciple, fulfilling a divine mission, some scholars in theology proposes an alternative perspective. In this reinterpretation, Judas is seen a tragic hero cocho in the cross-currents of political turmoil and spiritual destiny. Rather than driven by personal gain or unwavering loyalty, Judas becomes a symbol of the intricate interplay between human ambition and divine providence. Some argue that Judas, like many others in ancient Judea, harbored hopes of a Messiah who deliver the Jewish people from Roman oppression. In this context, his actions can be viewed as desperate attempt to provoke Jesus into asserting his divine authority and initiating to rebellion against the occupying forces. This portrayal of Judas as a policy pawn challenges simplistic notions of his character and motives. It raises questions about the intersection of faith, power, and human agency in shaping pivotal events in history. Was Judas driven by idealism or manipulation? Did he seek to fulfill prophecy or alter the course of destiny? As we navigate these intricate layers of interpretation, one thing becomes clear: the story of Judas Iscariot is not just about an individual's betrayal, but reflection of broader themes that continue to resonate through the ages. In the aftermath of the betrayal, the fate of Judas Iscariot takes a tragic turn that reverberates through history. According to the canonical Gospels, Matthew 27:3-5 descriptions a scene of profound remorse and guilt as Judas, witnessing Jesus' condemnation, returns the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. "I have sinned," he declares, "for I have betrayed innocent blood." Yet his plea falls on deaf ears as the priests dismiss him with callous indifference. Overwhelmed by shame and direct, Judas casts the silver into the temple and departs to meet his tragic end. This act of suicide has long been interpreted as a sign of Judas' irredeemable sin, a cautionary tale warning against greed and treachery. But what if there are more to this story than the eye? The Gnostic Gospels offer a different perspective on Judas' final moments, one that challenges traditional notions of history. In these alternative accounts, Judas' suicide is not an act of desperation, but one of solemn duty fulfilled. Rather than succumbing to remorse and self-consolation, he embraces his role in a cosmic drama that transcends mortal understanding. His death is not an end, but the continuation of his sacrifice, the willing surrender to divine will. The contrast between these divergent narratives raises profound questions about redemption and forgiveness. Was Judas truly damned for eternity, or did he play an essential part in a grander design? As we ponder the aftermath of Judas' betrayal and its enduring impact on religious thought, we are compelled to re-examine our assumptions about sin, repentance, and the ultimate mercy of a higher power. As we stand at the crossroads of history and theology, the enigma of Judas Iscariot's legacy looms large, casting a shadow over the very foundation of faith. The battle over history is not merely a clash of interpretations, but the fundamental struggle for the soul of Christianity. The canonical Gospels depict Judas as figure shrouded in darkness. A betrayer other evokes scorn and revulsion. His actions are seen as the ultimate act of treachery, betrayal that sealed Jesus' fate, and set in motion the events leading to his crucifixion. In this narrative, Judas embodies the archetype of the villain, a cautionary tale warning against greed and disloyalty. However, beyond this traditional portrayal lies a tapestry of alternative perspectives that challenge the black elitist depiction of Judas. The Gnostic Gospels present him not as a trait but a key player in a divine drama, enthused with a sacred mission that transcended mortal understanding. In this light, Judas emerges as tragic hero, sacrificing his reputation for the greater good. The battle over Judas' legacy extends far beyond theological debates. It strikes at the heart of our understanding of redemption and forgiveness. Can a man branded as history's greatest villain find absolute in the eyes of God? Does his role in the cosmic plan outweigh his earthly transgressions? We navigate these complex waters of interpretation and belief. One thing remains clear. Judas Iscariot's legacy is not fixed in stone, but continues to evolve through time and human reflection. The final question we must grapple with is not whether Judas was good or evil, but what story teaches us about the boundless mercy and unfathomable grace of divinity. As we peel back the layers of history and myth surrounding Judas Iscariot, the new dimension emerges, one that delves into the intricate works of his psyche. While traditional narratives often depict Judas as the one-dimensional figure driven solely by greed or divine, the closer examination reveals the complex interplay of motivations and emotions. In this exploration, we confront the enigma of Judas' inner turmoil, grappling with questions that transcend simplistic labels of hero or villain. What were the inner conflicts that treated Judas as he navigated the treacherous path laid before him? Did doubts and insecurities cloud his judgment, or was he steadfast in his conviction, despite the consequences? By delving into the psychological profile of Judas Iscariot, we aim to humanize the figure shrouded in moral ambiguity and shed light on the universal themes of betrayal, loyalty, and redemption. Through this lens, we invite you to reconsider Judas not as a distant archetype, but a complex individual wrestling with profound existential dilemmas. Join us on this introspective journey as we unravel the intricate layers of Judas' psyche, and seek to understand the man behind the myth. As we reseat the legal of betrayal Soraran Judas Iscariot, the tapestry of conflicting narratives and moral quandaries emerges. Beyond the conventional portrayals of greed or divine mission lies a shadowed figure how actions continue to provoke introspection and debate. In this re-examination, we confront the enduring impact of Judas' betrayal on the fabric of faith and human consciousness. Was he truly a man driven by base ilter, or was he a pawn in a cosmic drama far beyond mortal comprehension? The echoes of Judas' choices reverberate through history, challenging us to reconsider our prejudiciated notions of right and wrong. What if his betrayal was not a mark of infamy, but an act of profound sacrifice, veiled in the cloak of need? As we navigate these murky waters of ambiguity and moral ambiguity, one question lingers: can we ever truly understand the motivations that led Judas down his fateful path? Join us on this journey of rediscovery as we unravel the enigma of Judas Iscariot's legacy and confront the uncomfortable truths that lie at the heart of his story. We delve deeper into the enigmatic figure of Judas Iscariot. The veil of silence shrouds his intentions and motivations, leaving youth to ponder the mysteries that beneath the surface. Unlike the other disciples' works and words are meticulously documents in ancient texts, Judas remains to shadowy presence, his inner thoughts and struggles darned by the passage of time. In this exploration of silence, we confront the paradox of a man white name reasons through history, yet whose voice is conspicuously absent from the narrative. What drove Judas to make that fateful decision in the Garden of Gethsemane? What unspoken fears or hopes propelled him down a path that would forever alter the course of human destiny? By peering into the void left by Judas' silence, we are forced to confront our own assumptions and biases about whole character. Was he a willing participant in a divine plan, or was he as a reluctant actor in the web of circumstances beyond his control? The absence of his voice invites us to listen more closely to the echoes of his actions and contemplate the untold stories that linger in the spaces between words. We navigate this realm of ambiguity and speculation. One thing becomes clear: Judas Iscariot's silence speaks volumes, challenging us to look beyond the surface of history and embrace the complexity of human nature. Though we navigate the intricate tapestry of Judas Iscariot's legacy, a profound theme emerges from the shadows: the legacy of forgiveness and redemption. Beyond the veil of betrayal and disp of the narrative thread that speaks to the enduring power of grace and transformation. In this exploration of redemption, we confront the enigmatic figure of Judas through a lens of compassion and empathy. What if his actions, shrouded in darkness for centuries, were not a testament to irredeemable sin, but testament to the boundless mercy of divine love? As we unravel the layers of guilt and remorse that defined Judas' story, we are confronted with fundamental question: can forgiveness transcend even the deepest ones of betrayal? What if Judas' ultimate act of contrition was not his death, but his spoken plea for absolute? Through this journey into the heart of forgiveness, we invite you to consider the transformative power of grace in the face of human frailty. Join us as we exploit the untold chapters of Judas Iscariot's legacy, where redemption is not just distant hope, but living truth waiting to be embraced. Join us in our upcoming series as we uncover the hidden truths behind the mysterious figures of the Bible. From the untold stories of lesser-known disciples to the enigmatic lives of ancient prophets, we will delve deep into the archives of history to shed light on the obscured narratives that have shaped our understanding of faith. Prepare to be astonished, challenged, and enlightened as we embark on a journey through the forgotten corners of biblical lore. Subscribe now to stay tuned for our next revelation. The story of Judas has left us with more questions than answers. What other figures in the Bible have been similarly misunderstood, their true stories hidden from us by the ravages of time and religious manipulation? Join us next time as we delve into another biblical mystery that will challenge your beliefs. The forgotten wife. What happened to Moses' first wife? And why was her story erased from the Bible? You will want to believe the full story.